What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about the top 5 squeeze stocks to add to your watch list for this upcoming week. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points. So it's going to be a relatively short week because of Christmas. So on a side note, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you believe in. So that is going to be cutting out Monday. The rest of the week is going to be, I don't want to call it boring, but it is going to be relatively boring because there is no data points to come out, and these are all the companies unveiling their earnings this upcoming week. Crazy stuff. No real big disruptors, as you can kind of see. It's a big old nothing. But the only positive for this upcoming week is that the fear and greed index right now is at 77. So you are going to see the broader market want to continue this rally up, which could cause and deter shorts from increasing and might cause them to close out some of the positions. But then again, I'm just going over the top 5 squeeze stocks to add to your watch list. So make sure you do that as well. I'm going to be doing a +1 afterwards. So starting off with stock number 5, and that is right here. Good old Beyond Meat. This one I've covered quite a few times, but utilization is at 100%. Short score is 94.93. It is on the threshold list. On Friday, shorts did return 1.17 million shares. 42.16% of the free float is being shorted. That is extremely high. 25.99 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average was kind of in line with Thursday of sorts. So 247.69%. And through Interactive Broker, short availability does indicate that there is 0 shares available to be shorted. So this could get very real very fast. Looking at Beyond Meat, the performance over the last 1 year, it is down almost 31%. Year to date, it is down 27.71%. And on Friday, it had a sell-off, so it went down 4.58%. I don't think it needs any introduction, but if you do not know what Beyond Meat does, this is kind of the explanation right here. So you can always pause it, read through it. I really like Beyond Meat. I was liking it even in the 30s, the 40s, although I didn't buy it only because I felt like there was more downside, but I do really like the fundamental business itself. So take that with what you will. I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. So moving on to stock number 4, and that is this right here. So Rumble On. So ticker is RMBL. So over the last 1 year, it is up 26.19%. Year to date, it is up 16.8%, and on Friday went down slightly. This is what they do right here. So under the automotive retail industry. But looking at some of the data points, that's why it's on the list. Utilization is at 100%. Short score is 95.61. On Friday, shorts did return 91.91 thousand shares. It's not on the threshold list, unlike Beyond Meat, like I mentioned, but 18.43% of the free float is being shorted, which works out to be 2.22 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average was kind of in line with Thursday, so 36.6%, and through Interactive Brokers, short availability does indicate around 4.8 million shares available to be shorted. So kind of interesting stuff. On a side note, I know I do go through a lot of this information relatively fast, so if you do have any questions about anything that is on here, or if you maybe going forward into future videos, you want more explanation on something, feel free to let me know. I can definitely accommodate and do that. Moving on to stock number 3, it is right here. Centra, ticker is SIEN. Over the last 1 year, down 70.49%. Year to date, 71.16%. And on Friday, it's up slightly. This is what it does right down here. So healthcare supplies industry, and goes over the exact profile. Also on a side note, if you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as all of this, goes over ratios, recent press releases, SEC filings, transcripts from previous earnings, and fireside chats. Take a look at Seeking Alpha Premium. I do have a 7-day free trial for you in the description below and also the comments. So highly recommend you taking advantage of that because it does have a lot of information all in one area. Makes it very easy for investors. But data point wise, 90.36% is that utilization. Short score is 95.82. And just on a side note, when I'm talking on the top 5 squeeze stocks in order by Ortex, I am going based on the short score, because that is how Ortex does compile, I guess, the likelihood of a squeeze. The higher the number, the more likely a squeeze. So going over on Friday, it shows that they didn't really change anything, but 13.07% of the free floats being shorted, 1.44 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 89.57%, and through Interactive Brokers, around 20,000 shares available to be shorted. So in a lot of the stocks I have brought up so far, they are kind of overextended. Moving on to stock number 2, the Line Electric Company, ticker is LEV. On Friday, it did go up 1.13%. Year to date, down 11.39%, and year to date, it is down 15.96%. This is what they do right here. So under the construction and obviously heavy equipment and kind of sector. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Going over the data points though, utilization is 84.77, short score is 96.33. On Friday, shorts did increase around 62,000 shares. 17.75% of the free float is being shorted, and 7.9 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 36.35, and around 40,000 shares is available. And stock number 1, ding ding ding, is Sirius. This has been number 1 for the last, I don't know, 3 weeks, something like that. And on Friday, it was kind of flat. On the year to date, down 5.85%, and year to date, it is down 5.53%. This is what they do. I don't think they need any introduction, but the cable and satellite subdivision, so industry right there. So kind of interesting. But once again, it is the data points. So utilization is 94.07, short score is 99.05. On Friday, shorts did return 1.12 million shares. 27.94% of the free float is being shorted. 174.25 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 59.13, and around 700,000 shares available to be shorted. Once again, I've kind of brought this up in the past. I do feel that there is other stocks out there that does have a better likelihood of a squeeze versus Sirius, one of them even being right here, so good old Beyond Meat. A lot of the data points behind that is very, very interesting. Plus, it's on the threshold list. So once again, something to consider. My +1, so my bonus, is going to be this. Sun Power Corporation, ticker is SPWR. Over on Friday, didn't really do too much. Year to date, it is down 74.02, and over the last 1 year, down 76.45. This is what they do right here. So under the electrical components and equipment industry, so kind of interesting stuff for that. But the data points, this is what makes things very, very interesting. So on Friday, shorts did return about 359,000 shares, 33.11% of the free floats being shorted, 28.67 million shares is overall being shorted. Cost to borrow is relatively low, so 5.26. But still, I like the data points, and there's around 1.1 million shares overall being shorted. So this stock, I do feel, is kind of interesting, especially if you do couple that with what they actually do for a business. Kind of seems very reasonable that it could squeeze. So let me know your thoughts on those stocks. So the 5 plus the 1. Is there any other stocks out there that you feel has a good likelihood of a squeeze? And maybe going forward into next Sunday, whenever I do this next video, maybe I'll do it in a different format where it's more so based on the short interest percentage versus a short score number, just to switch it up, see different grouping of companies and something else. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everyone. But one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo with Moomoo. Sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a win-win. Link in the description below and also the comments. But with all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.